Alright, so we're back with another review and paint, a late review for Inside Out 2. It was a good movie. I don't think anybody wouldn't expect that. Things I liked. I definitely liked the fact that they switched up the cast a little bit. So they added some new characters. If you watch the trailer, you probably know we have anxiety, ennui, envy, and embarrassment. And then also, similar to the last film where we had joy and sadness kind of together for the majority of the film, while the other emotions took over the kind of like main console headquarters like area of the brain or the mind or whatever. This time, joy goes on an adventure to the back of the mind or with the other emotions from the previous film. And anxiety kind of leads this new group of emotions as kind of like the antagonistic force. And I did like that switch up because I think it would have been kind of repetitive to have sadness and joy go on, their side quests again. So that was a positive. I also like the fact that the mind feels familiar, but also they kind of expanded on it. You get to see more other parts or characters within the mind who work in the kind of the background of it. Like they do this whole thing where because Riley, the human that these emotions inhabit, is going through puberty, there's like a whole wrecking crew that destroys the the main console in the office or whatever you want to call it, and it's like trying to put new things in place, but because puberty is messy, it is messy, and they don't fix it all everything right away, and the emotions are like not able to work it. Anxiety comes in, and seems to know how to work it better, but similar to the last film, it's like, sometimes Joy doesn't have all the answers, that's true. And, but however, like, the difference this time around is, like, Joy wasn't wrong in, the approach. Like, the journey wasn't about Joy trying to figure out what Riley needed. Because Joy kind of already learned from the previous film, like, hey, I'm going to learn to take a step back. You can't just keep someone happy all the time. Other emotions are healthy. This time, the new emotion has to kind of learn that lesson, and this time it's anxiety, who kind of serves as an antagonist, trying to take over everything because anxiety is a better planner, which I think was also one of the things I enjoyed. I think they did a good job of representing the new emotions, especially anxiety, like giving anxiety super speed, making anxiety a master planner. That's kind of, it fits. Embarrassment was awesome. Ennui, it's a little weird, but I do like the fact that Ennui could like use or control Riley from without getting up, like using an app. I think that fit perfectly. But Envy was very much underutilized, but I guess that makes sense for the story. And that's another thing that I think was an improvement in this film, at least for me. I liked was Riley's story. I think what she's going through, like she's losing her previous friends, trying to make new ones, and like struggling with that, like trying to be accepted by this new group, and basically everything going on in this film, I think was just more interesting than just the moving story. However, I think this film it didn't get me emotionally as much as the previous one. Bing Bong scene, especially in the first film, I think resonated with me a lot and resonated with a lot of people. Not because I had an imaginary friend or anything, but it's just like, oh, like that loss of innocence, like that was just like sad. It was just one of those Pixar moments, those moments that if they're not gonna make you cry, I'll get you close. I think this film is kind of missing that, or it just didn't hit that hard for me. But I did find everything going on with the emotions and the mind more interesting. And I liked Riley's story more. So it's just like a weird trade off of like I think the story was just more fun to watch, more interesting, but it was less emotional. It could also be that, it's a sequel, but usually that doesn't stop Pixar, like Pixar's been able to make really good sequels, like the Toy Story franchise. So, I think I'd give this movie probably like a 7.5. I think if this movie got me a little bit more emotionally, it would get to like the more 8 or 9 range. I think 7.5 is pretty good.